sometimes it's funny. Like I'm at the part of my career where I now find myself getting quoted sometimes, and they're telling me, and I'm like Jim in that story.
I love it.
It's like, I told you that.
I love that.
In college, my roommate used to make fun of me because I had a terrible memory, and I would tell him stories of these amazing things we did in college. Well, he was there too, and he'd be like, dude, I was there. And every time, and I'd tell the next, it's like, Mark, I was there, and my mind just remembers the event, not the people, and so I have to work really hard to think about that, and that's one of my weak areas that I really want to grow in.
Yeah, that would be a good one. I do the people and can't remember the event because my best friend for 50 years will say, "Do you remember blah?" I'm like, "Yeah, no, was I there?" Well, yes, you were.
And the other thing we want to do is answer questions. So as our audience, whatever the word for people listening grows, we want them to be able to ask us questions. So you can email me directly. This is my work email, mark@workplaysolutions.com, and just put podcast in the subject line, and you can ask questions about anything that is related to our topics.
Or not. I mean, if you have something going on in your office and you need a little guidance on it, we can offer that too. I mean, we're ultimately not going to tell you what to do, but we can tell you what we've done that might have worked, and you can glean whatever you need from that.
Absolutely. All right, Rhonda, what would be important for the listeners to hear from you as far as looking forward to the next series of episodes?
I think one of the things that I'm excited about doing is just the relationship with our audience. Just, what do you want to hear out there? We have groundwork, WorkPlay solutions. So we want to be sure that we're hitting those things that we have found important or lacking in our office. I love this time that I've spent with you in the last 3 years in the office. So we have some mutual grounds that we can work from. But I really want to have the audience be engaged and say, this is happening and I'm not sure what to do with it. What would you do with it in that situation? And be able to offer that information.
Awesome. And for me, this honestly, just doing the podcast is a little bit of a dream come true. I had a radio show in grad school, and it was terrible. It was absolutely terrible. But it was so much fun, and I enjoyed myself, and I never realized how much I enjoyed performing and communicating, and whether I'm good at it or not, that's fine. I just want to do it and engage people and bring life and joy and meaning and purpose into their world any way we can. And we want to connect with folks that need more support, more help than just the podcast. So in the show description, you'll see information on how to contact us and book a session and all that.
We're here to offer possibilities.
So I think one thing, Rhonda, we've talked about, in preparation was I want to tell a lot of embarrassing stories of failure and doing it wrong, especially where I made the mistake. I think that's super important. Leaders are humble and willing to say, yeah, I did that and it wasn't good, or I did that and it could have been better, or I did that and I thought it was a great idea and it blew up in my face, and this is what I learned from it. So we're going to make sure we include those types of stories and wins. We want wins too. As we go.
We definitely want wins too. And I just want to take 1 minute to talking about your failures. There are people, and I would say myself, one of them, that I never learned to fail forward. So those stories are kind of like, they're traumatic, and because I didn't want to fail and I was supposed to be perfect. So bringing those up and being able to talk about those in any situation is a huge win, because you get to open a door that you haven't opened or seen, or I haven't opened and seen. So for me, that's going to be like, oh gosh, I got to tell you that. So I think that's an interesting side of that, because we all don't fail forward easily.
And it's important for me, I'm a facilitator by heart, trainer by heart. So this idea of this being an emotionally safe place, a psychologically safe place is super important. At no time will we force you to say anything. And you have permission, if you are Rhonda, myself, or any future guests, you have permission to say, yeah, I'm not really comfortable answering that. And that is fine and okay and good to have those healthy boundaries. And there will be questions that I ask that are challenging and bring up difficult topics, and we're okay with that. I'm sure my 9-year-old and my 3-year-old will want to listen at some point, but this isn't a podcast for them just yet.
Yes. And I like that too, because it's an opportunity to grow that you can take or not take. That's the nice piece of it. Or I might not grow right here, but I could walk away and go, I think I got what just happened there, which is just as valuable as doing it with our little microphones with the little red things and the little yellow things.
Okay. Final thoughts before we wrap up episode 1.
Already?
Hey, we're...
Really?
Yeah. Well, we're going to go straight in and record episode 2.
Look at us. Final thoughts. Stay open, stay willing, and keep your eyes open for the things that make you laugh about yourself.
Awesome. And I'm just going to say, I look forward to this journey with everyone who listens. Please be patient with us as we are learning and growing and applying existing knowledge to new skills and vice versa. And I look forward to engaging with you.
Love it.
All right. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye. This is a podcast for anyone who has ever... Try again.